This is an AJS-37 Viggen in DCS. This is a pre-release build kindly sent over by Cobra from Leatherneck Simulations. Thanks, Cobra. And this is a video about what I like about it and why. But first, some flying. Okay, let's have a look at the Viggen and how it performs. These characteristically huge canards at the front of the aircraft act as a second set of wings. They generate vortices that improve lift on the main wings, and they also house the automatic flaps. The landing gear arrangement is somewhat different for an aircraft of this size and performance. It has two wheels on a bogie arrangement, which means that it can basically slam into the ground at a high rate of descent. Perfect. Alongside here is a Mirage 2000 and a MiG-21. Now we're going to start a drag race from 900 kilometers an hour. The Viggen's Pratt & Whitney engine was chosen for high speed and fuel efficiency at low altitude. It's stage 3 afterburner, giving unprecedented acceleration from almost any phase of flight. And as you can see, the Viggen still has plenty of push, easily breaking the sound barrier at sea level.
That is straight up ridiculous.
The Viggen was able to go from takeoff to an operating altitude of 10 kilometers or 32,000 feet, in 100 seconds. That's in a config of 50% fuel and 4 AA missiles, which is what we're using here. I'm accelerating to Mach decimal 9. I'm going to maintain that Mach number all the way to the top of the climb. See the altimeter here when both needles strike the 6 o'clock position. We're at 10 kilometers. And as you can see, that was perfectly achievable, and that wasn't even with cold weather settings in the editor, which should make the performance even better. "600 meters is all it takes to get a Viggen airborne, as measured here, from a road. Now while we're here, you might be wondering if we can turn back and land on that same road. It gives me a decent chance to mention the Viggen uses this auto throttle for approach and landing. That'll maintain the speed. All we need to do is try and maintain the correct alpha. Thrust reverse can be pre-selected to begin spooling on touchdown. This brings a demonstrated landing distance down to 500 meters. tricky bit is applying even braking while this is all going on. And yeah, just be careful which roads you choose to land on. The Viggen has a nice terrain avoidance radar, which helps you to fly in different weather conditions. As you can see here, in obstacle mode you'll see dark returns for where the terrain's being picked up around you at your altitude, and the bright areas are where it's clear, or where the radar's occluded. And in typical aviation fashion, if you see a red light, you should probably do something. Let's move on to the weapons. There are plenty of them, so let's go through each category. You already saw the RB-15 anti-ship missile at the start of the video, so I'm just going to skip that and go straight to the rest. Here's a lazy run with the RB-05. The missile is radio controlled, meaning that you need to steer it onto the target. It's not easy to be accurate with, but it is enjoyable to do. There are bombs, obviously. Now in this run I'm using CCIP to drop a high drag load of bombs onto the target. If you look in the HUD, you'll see a dot and a circle. They show where the first and last bombs will impact. There are gun pods. There are Mavericks, labelled as RB-75s. They're aimed and slewed via the seeker head through this sight on the right. Anyone who's used that in the A-10 will be familiar. There are Sidewinder missiles. And ARAC rockets that fire in a spectacular metric bum load. They can target using radar or nav data for ranging, which makes it very accurate. And these things, the BK-90. A cool as shit standoff cluster weapon that overflies the pre-programmed target and then drops its cluster munitions. That's the Viggen as a package, and honestly, I love it. It's a flawed analogy, but bear with me. To me, it sits somewhere between the A-10C and the MiG-21. You're getting that high-performance single-engine fun, but you're still getting robust, user-friendly navigation and weapon systems. Which means that as long as you give it some forethought, you can reliably hit your targets without being an ace. And in practical terms, that means you can get into having a good time playing the module with players of different experience levels and abilities. I'm certainly not saying that this module lacks its challenges, but I don't think many of you would disagree that the Viggen is much more user-friendly than the MiG-21. Yet, it still rewards a good performance from the player. And now, should you buy it? Well, this is the second time I've been impressed by Leatherneck Simulations. They've chosen an interesting, unique, and very capable aircraft to bring to the game, and they've delivered on it. If you like air-to-ground strike missions, if you like low-level flying at high speeds, if you want an interesting module with a versatile weapon set, then this is definitely for you.